having watched some of your performances in the clips that were sent to me and following you on Twitter, you are obviously a very beautiful performer, but there is something Whitney-esque about you when you take to the stage. Are you channeling her? I know it's a silly question, but there is almost like a presence of Whitney in the space. Talk to us about that.
You know, when you've watched someone for so long, you know, from a very young age, I've really wanted to be so much like her that when I started listening to her and then seeing her for the first time on TV, you know, you do all these actions that she does, you know, as a little girl in front of the mirror. I did that, you know, and I tried to walk like her, and you do it for so long, and over the years you do shows and gigs and small gigs and big gigs, and you end up doing Whitney Houston songs, and then you try to incorporate that because you are so proud to actually do that song that you try to be that way. When this came along, I had the opportunity to actually step into it fully. So yes, now I have that opportunity to do all of these things that I taught myself for so long and preparing for so long. I get to do them fully, which is very exciting. Very exciting.
Now, you've been singing since you were very, very young. In fact, professionally, as I understand it, when you were 14 years old.
Yes.
Talk to us about your start in your singing career.
I started performing professionally, and when I say professionally, I mean started performing with a band at the age of 14 in Port Elizabeth in a little jazz club. And I was discovered when I was 16 by my manager at the time, and we were signed to a record label, and you know, and the rest is really history because, you know, from that point onwards, I managed to travel around the world and release an album, you know, so it's been a very interesting and an amazing learning journey for me, which I think, you know, have come to this point, doing the Whitney Houston thing, which is a dream.
Now, you've been doing the Whitney Houston thing since 2012, but you also sing in your own capacity. You've mentioned having released an album. So talk to us about Belinda Davids when she's not doing Whitney.
Well, when I'm not doing Whitney, I'm really a family person, you know, besides the fact that I really want to release my own music. But, you know, the Whitney Houston tribute show has taken so much of my time that, you know, when I do get off, I spend most of my time with my family or with myself, you know, trying to recover and rethink and, you know, readjust from whatever trip, or mostly spend time with my family. Yeah, I'm such a family girl.
Now, you mentioned to me before the cameras were rolling that performing every night really, really does take it out of you. I know I initially mentioned interviewing you on a Monday, and that was an absolute no-go. Tell us why.
Well, we have such a short time in Cape Town. Artscape Theatre managed to give us this short time, and so we wanted to really take advantage of the time and give Cape Town as much of the show and give them the opportunity to come and see, you know, everybody to come and see the show. So instead of doing, usually what we do is 4 nights a week, now we're doing 5 nights a week. So Monday morning, I'm literally have nothing left in me. I sound like a man, you know. I sound like a man in the morning when I wake up. So if you asked me to do an interview yesterday, I would have said no.
You could have just laid down on the couch.
Yeah, well, you know, a glass of water, bring my pajamas, my slippers, you know, but no singing.
Maybe next time that's what we should do. Interview in your PJs.
You know, let me get back to you about that.
Talk to us about preparing for this show, particularly. Are there vocal exercises that you do that are specific to the show? Is there any Whitney material that you watch? How do you get yourself into the zone, so to speak, before you perform?
When we started the show, I had to go into physical training, not just physical training, but, you know, mentally training myself and renewing my memory of her, which was really, really, really good for me because, you know, I managed to, because I still do it. I managed to look at all her stuff, and I had this rare footage of her, and I still look at it. And so besides the vocal warm-ups that I always do before I go on stage, besides the tea that I drink, besides, you know, all the little things that I need to do to get into the zone before I go on performing. You know, I like to watch, I still like to listen to her, and I still like to watch her perform, because it renews your memory a little bit.
Now, speak to us about, or perhaps you can give us some advice to aspiring South African musicians. We know the country is so full of talent, and there's so many young people who would desperately love to do what you do. What do you say to somebody who comes up to you and says, Belinda, I want to do that?
I would definitely tell you the most important thing to be in the industry. Let's just use the music industry, never mind every other career in this world that we have. The music industry is very tough. It's very hard. You have to be so very patient, because it's a hurry up and wait game. And you know, it's a lot of, when it eventually gets there for you, you know, it's a lot of hard work, because now you have to find your space and yourself in, you know, in whatever genre that you are performing in, or whatever genre you find yourself in. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of hard work. So I don't want to always say keep dreaming or just dream big. When your dream eventually comes true, that's when the hard work starts. So perseverance.
Dream big, work hard.
Be the best that you can be for yourself. If you don't believe in you, then no one else will.
If we're based in Cape Town, where can we see you, and at what times?
Well, the show started last week on the 8th. It ends on the 19th of April. And it's going to be at the Artscape Theatre starting at 8 o'clock. From Wednesday up until Saturday. Sunday, it's an earlier show. You know, if you bring your mom or your kids, it starts from 6 until 8. But it's a 2.5-hour show.
Lovely. Before I let you go, do you have a favorite Whitney song?
No. I don't have a favorite Whitney Houston song. They are all my favorite. I can sing all of them all day long. And I'm so glad that you do. We're so looking forward to seeing you perform. Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.